What's going on, everybody? Brandon here from Gearist, and today we're going to be taking a look at the HELIX Backcountry Rechargeable Lantern from Princeton Tec. When we go out camping, many of us may opt for the convenience and kind of on-your-head swivel on the point thing of a headlamp, but there is something to be said for the convenience of a broadly cast light of a lantern. However, no modern camper is going to bring along their old-school gas lantern, which brings along with it a lot of weight and bulk, unless, of course, you are going for that old-school kind of retro fit and feel, which is cool also. Today's lanterns are much more versatile, a lot smaller, and a lot brighter than those things that we've used in the past, but the one we're looking at today right here, the Princeton Tec Helix Backcountry Rechargeable, is not just a light that rests on a rock somewhere and casts its light. So let's start talking about what it can do. The first thing that impressed me about this guy right here is its size. Standing as you see it right now with its globe fully extended, its legs fully extended, it stands at only 5.5 inches tall. The body of the lantern is made from high-grade polymer, and they have these steel hinge pins right here that keep everything held together, and the globe is made from kind of an opaque silicone. In the center of the globe, there is a chamber, which you probably can't see very well right there. That chamber here, I'll turn it on for you. That chamber is hollow, and around it, you've got these helix, if you can see, go figure, naming that it's helix. You've got these fins that kind of fan out from it to help diffuse the light. And sitting atop the globe, we've got this metal ring right here, making it easy to hang from whether it's your tent or a little branch or something like that. The globe can actually be removed from the base and attaches by these 3 clips that we see here. Green clip, green clip, green clip. Now what happens with those is all you do is pop them out, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, and the whole entire thing comes off just like this. This also keeps it nice and compact and packed down for when it's going to be put into your backpack or where have you. The base of this guy sports 4 retractable legs, which you can see here, foldable legs, and each of them has a hook. You see that hook right there? This makes it able to be hung on things and do so without becoming some sort of a MacGyver. Also on the bottom of this, we see right here, this is the port. This is the weatherproof port for charging the lantern itself. Right there, we can see using the micro USB, easily seals up, keeps water out nicely. Also on the bottom, and this is probably one of my favorite things about this lantern, because this is something that not a lot of products account for, are the instructions for exactly what you do in terms of lighting this. Now, why is this important? Well, if you've got a lamp or whatever kind of device or a tent or something like that that doesn't have packing or pitching instructions or what have you, those simple things you would think that you would remember, you might not always remember the full functionality of it. On here, it says exactly what to do. But before we get into telling you about that, let me show you how it lights up. Basically, there are no buttons on this thing. What you see right here is this little thing that says swipe. What you do is you swipe to the left, it lights up red. I don't know if you can see that it's red there. That's pretty red. And then if you swipe back to the center, it goes off. You swipe to the right, it goes bright. Now, I will do a little bit of this review with some of these lights off around so you guys can get a good look and feel of it. So if it's probably playing while I'm talking right now. But on the bottom, once again, it tells you the lighting instructions. Swipe left to right, it lights up white. Swipe right to left, it lights up red. Press in the center while it's lit, it becomes more dim. Swipe times 2, it makes it medium, whether it's white or red. Swipe times 3, it turns it into flash mode. And then swipe the opposite way of the way that it's lit, and it turns the entire lantern off. With the globe off, we're going to take a look at the light portion of this thing right here. The light portion of the base of the lantern is covered by this hard plastic shell right here, meant to protect its high-tech guts, which you can see in there. And within those guts lie 2 LEDs, one white and one red. I have to say that right away, the thing that struck me most about this guy sitting in my hand is that it is high quality. Yes, it is mostly made of plastic, and if that turns you off, it's going to be something that you're not going to be able to get over, I would assume. But the high quality of this tells me that Princeton Tec really didn't skimp on this, and this is going to be a durable piece of gear that's going to be around with you for a number of years. So now let's talk about the performance of the HELIX Backcountry Rechargeable from Princeton Tec. The first thing that we're going to talk about is its portability. As I mentioned at the top of the review, its small size is one of the things that really stood out to me. At 5.5 inches tall, fully extended. Here's the really cool part. When you fold these legs up onto the bottom here, and then you take the globe and you press it and lock it down there, it rests at only 2.5 inches tall. Super, super compact, can be packed down into very small spot, and also it doesn't weigh a lot. Coming in at 6.6 ounces or 185 grams, yes, some weight weenies out there are going to have a problem with it and maybe say, why won't I just carry my headlamp? And that's a fair point. If you're going for ultralight, fine, I understand, but even then, this is not a whole lot to take with you. Also, to get it to extend, all you do is kind of pull on the globe and it just pops right back up, and these legs fold right back back out. So now, what is the light like? Well, you saw me talk about it a second ago, but let's talk it from a more technical perspective. At its brightest, this guy is meant to put out 150 lumens and can go as low as 30 lumens when you dim it. By my estimates, and by estimate I mean me stumbling around a campsite with a tape measure trying to see where the longest usable light is, this guy can extend its beam to about 26 feet. Now, of course, that's going to depend on some of the terrain that you're on, how high it is, and so on and so forth, but 25, 26 feet is really where I felt comfortable saying that this has usable light. To be honest, if you're sitting right beside it in a tent or something like that by a campfire or what have you, it's actually a little bit too bright when you find yourself reading, and that's my opinion. If you need a whole lot of light, that's perfectly understandable, but it does cast a lot of light. Let's talk about the battery life for a second. At full brightness, this will last for roughly 6 hours with about 18 hours at dimmest. Not sure if dimmest is a word, but we're going for it. When the red light is being used, that jumps to about 7 hours at its brightest and 22 at its most dim. Most dim sounds like a much more practical use of that word. I'm honestly not sure about the total battery life when it's in flashing mode, but I would assume that there would be a significant tick up to right around 25, 27 hours. I will say that on the Princeton Tec website, they say that there's a battery life indicator on this lamp. I have not been able to find that. That's a little bit frustrating, and I would really like to see that in the next version of it. Another thing that I've seen in some other lights and lanterns out there is that there's an output using the battery here to charge via USB whatever device you've got that might use USB. Now, of course, that is going to suck from the overall battery life, but if you're going out for one night or something like that, but you really need to charge a phone, a camera, a GPS unit, what have you, having something like that is a really nice addition. Again, I do understand the sacrifice of the battery life that you would pay for with that, but to me it seems like an easy trade-off, especially when you've got a solar panel to go ahead and recharge this guy. As for the setup, as you can imagine, there's not a whole lot of setup with this. You pretty much just take it out of the box, unfold it, and turn it on. You may need an additional, kind of an initial charge rather, and that's it. I mean, it's really very simple to use. There are no batteries to install, nothing like that. It's just ready to go. In its most traditional state, which most of us are going to use it in, it's a really versatile lamp, and I found even on uneven surfaces, the ability to move these legs around means it's going to sit even if you really, really needed to sit dead level. Also in the same setup, but with the legs folded up, this ring right here, as I mentioned earlier, provides a great way to hang it from the top of a tent, from a small tree branch, what have you, to add that light kind of a suspended way over your campsite. Then there's a use of this lantern that comes when you remove the globe, and this is actually really cool and something that I really didn't think of. First, you've got this nice down-facing lamp, and how does that work? Well, if it's in your tent, chances are you've got a little pocket or some straps up on the top that are going to keep it able to be facing down like that, or you can kind of use this right here, pull these legs up just a little bit, and have it hang by those hooks facing down. It's a really nice addition. Also, and this is great if you've got kids, you want to do a little puppets around, shadow puppets around the campfire or anything like that, you've got the ability to kind of lean it back on itself. If you can see there, it leans like this. It provides a great spotlight. One final thing that I really, really love about this guy is that the globe, when the light is off, the globe actually glows in the dark. This is a really, really brilliant stroke of intelligence by Princeton Tec, and what it means is that in the middle of the night, if you're stumbling around, you can't find your light, you can't remember where it is, you see this soft green glow just kind of there, and it's really, really super handy for being able to find this light if you may have had one too many around the campfire beverages or whatever. It just means that you can find it even in the dark. The Princeton Tec Helix Backcountry Rechargeable Lantern is a super impressive piece of gear for me, and kind of its size and its weight makes it a no-brainer for going in pretty much any pack unless you're really, really counting grams. Another thing that makes it super impressive is its price tag. This guy right here in its current form comes in at $50, and we may be able to find that in cheaper links if you check those links down in the description of this video below, because those are going to be able to have, you know, through our Amazon links and what have you. But if you want this in the non-rechargeable version, this is the one where you can put batteries in it. It comes in at about $23, which is awesome, but do consider the fact that you're adding weight, number one, and number two, you're spending money over time replacing those batteries, even though the battery life is really quite good. The bang for your buck factor in this is super, super high, and even if you're a little bit interested, the price being right at $50 or again lower in those links I mentioned below makes it kind of something that you really want to have. It's even useful around your house, on a porch at night, what have you. Definitely something that I would strongly recommend to everybody out there. Now, before we get to our question of the day, guys, I want to really ask you to please like and favorite this video and also subscribe to our channel. We're in a big subscriber subscriber push right now, and we want to hit a certain goal number, which I'll share with you later, by the end of 2017. It's going to allow us to take things to the next level. Also, please follow us on social. Just search for Gearist on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, please go ahead and click that button that says subscribe. It's here or there, wherever it is. Please go ahead and subscribe. It would mean a ton to us. And now, here is our question of the day for you, and that is, what do you prefer around your campsite? Would you like something that's a small, lightweight lantern, or do you opt for an old school flashlight, or do you go for a headlamp? Which of these things is more practical and useful to you in the general campsite setting? We'd love to hear your answers down in the comments section below. Guys, thank you again so much for watching. Get out there, get dirty, and we can't wait to see you next time.